Hello there. This is Welsh ASMR 82. Hey, how you doing? So, in today's little ASMR video, we're going to be taking a look at this lovely book, The World Book, by these people. We haven't done this for a little while. I think I mentioned it in the last video. This video always tends to do quite well on my channel because we read some lovely, interesting, cool facts about countries from all of the continents. However, I think it's at least twice, or maybe even the last 3 times I've used this book, the recording has failed, which never happens. And I've had issues with the audio being like screeching noises in it. And so I've jokingly convinced myself this book is cursed because I'm half expecting to have to redo this video. So here's hoping that I actually set up the video correctly with the camera plugged in the microphone correctly. Let's hope there's no weird interference from wherever. And here we go. So North America, including the Caribbean, we'll start off with Jamaica. A little map to show you where it is if you're not sure. This is the end of Mexico, the Yucatan Peninsula, Belize, Florida, the Bahamas, Cuba, and then here is Jamaica. This is the very cool Jamaican flag. Capital is Kingston. English is the official language, and the currency is the Jamaican dollar. Population of 2.8 million, so it's only just slightly smaller than my country, Wales. And the area is 10,000 square kilometers. Jamaica. This mountainous island has many different environments, including rainforest, woodland, swamps, mangroves, and coral reefs, but just 2 cities. This lively, crowded Kingston in the southeast, home to almost half the population, and Montego Bay in the northwest, which is popular with tourists. Naming the hurricane. Jamaica and its neighbours lie in an area known as the Hurricane Belt, which means they are regularly battered by severe storms. The word hurricane was coined by the first people to live here. The Taino Urican was their god of storms. The Taino also named the island itself, which they called Jamaica, meaning land of wood and water. In Spanish is Jamaica. Reggae roots. Jamaica is a very musical place that has given numerous new styles to the world. The most popular is undoubtedly reggae, which first became popular in the late 60s, emerging out of other Jamaican styles such as ska and rocksteady. Jamaican musical maestros. The country has produced numerous famous singers over the years: Bob Marley, Jimmy Cliff, Desmond Dekker, Lee Scratch Perry, Sean Paul, Toots Hibbert, and Shaggy. Super speeds. Jamaican sprinters are among the most successful in history. Jamaica won gold at the women's 100 metres at the Olympic Games in 2008, 12 and 16. the male athlete Usain Bolt is the fastest human in history. In 2009 he set a world record for the 100 meters of 9.58 seconds. Usain Bolt won gold medals in the 100 meters and 200 meters at 3 consecutive Olympics, 2008 and 2012 and 2016. Rastafarians. Most of the people in Jamaica are Christian. In fact, the country has over 1,600 churches, more per square kilometre than any other country on earth. Some people follow a different religion, however, called Rastafarianism. Rastas believe that Haile Selassie, the Emperor of Ethiopia from 1930 to 74, was the Messiah. They also believe in living naturally and not cutting their hair, which they twist into dreadlocks. Let's move on to South America. I've done quite a lot of these countries already. I'll try to remember which ones I haven't done. Definitely done Peru. I think I've done Chile. Don't think I've done Paraguay. Okay, Paraguay. On the map here we can see Brazil and Argentina, which it's in between. Also it's next to Bolivia. Here is its flag. Key facts: capital Asunción, official language is Guarani and Spanish, currency is the Guarani, population 7.2 million, and area is 397,000 square kilometers. Paraguay. It might not get the same amount of international attention as its bigger neighbours, Brazil and Argentina, but Paraguay has just as much going on. Its landscapes range from cattle ranches and grassy plains to swamps, forests, caves and semi-deserts. A giant dam on the border of Paraguay and Brazil stands one of the great engineering marvels of the modern age. The Itaipu Dam, built on the Paraná River between 71 and 84 by around 40,000 workers. It is the world's second largest producer of hydroelectric power, after the Three Gorges Dam in China. Standing 225 meters high and 7.3 kilometers long, it produces around 88% of all Paraguay's electricity. That's incredible. The lapacho, or pink trumpet tree, is the national tree of Paraguay. From 1864 to 70, Paraguay engaged in the disastrous War of the Triple Alliance, which saw it lose around 50% of its territory to its neighbours, Brazil, Argentina and Uruguay. This is the Gran Chaco, the 2,695 kilometre long Paraguay River divides the country into two rough halves from north to south. To the west is the most wildlife-rich region, the Gran Chaco. The Gran Chaco is the area this lives in. This semi-arid terrain of low forests and savannas is populated by giant anteaters, jaguars and capybara. Paraguay is sometimes known as the Corazón de Sudamérica, the heart of South America, because of its location right at the center of the continent. Thirsty work. If you want to cool down, do as the locals do and try a glass of tereré, a type of iced herbal tea made with the plant yerba mate. You'll sometimes see it served in guampas, a cup made from a cattle horn, Other local delicacies include chimpas, a type of cheese roll, and sopa paraguaya, which, despite its name, which means Paraguayan soup, is actually a type of cornbread. Okay, on to Europe. I don't think I've ever done Spain, have I? I don't think so. I'm just looking at it and I don't recognise reading that page. I should really have written down what I have done and what I haven't done yet. Apologies if I've done this before. Okay, we can see the map of Europe. This is France, the UK, Portugal, and this is Spain. The Spanish flag. Key facts: capital Madrid, official language Spanish, currency the euro, population 50 million, and area 498,000 square kilometers. Spain, España. Just a stone's throw from North Africa and Europe's southwest, Spain is a vibrant mixture of cultures which have been transported all across the globe. Divided into 17 regions, or autonomías, the country is renowned for its colourful architecture, long beaches, fiestas, flamenco, and the small sharing plates of food known as tapas. My favourite thing in Spain. Typical tapas dishes: patatas bravas, fried potato cubes in spicy tomato sauce, albóndigas, meatballs, calamares, battered squid, pinchos morrones, meat skewers, tortilla de patatas, potato omelette. Amazing architecture. Antonio Gaudí, 1852 to 1926, was a Spanish architect whose influence can be seen all over Barcelona, Spain's second largest city. His most famous creation is the still unfinished church, known as the Basílica de la Sagrada Familia. With 18 curving towers, a mass of twisting statues and colourful stained glass windows, there's no other building quite like it. They keep running out of money and stopping construction, and then they get tourists to pay to enter it unfinished, save up the money, and then could do some more construction. Flamenco fever. Flamenco is an important part of Spanish culture. It's a performance that's made up of 4 elements: singing, dancing, acoustic guitar, and percussion, usually provided by hand clapping, like this. Foot stomping and cheering. The fastest flamenco dance ever recorded was performed by Rosario Varela in 2009, who managed to stamp out 1,274 foot taps in just 1 minute. Although if you say that flamenco is a Spanish cultural highlight to a Spaniard, they will say that it's Andalusian, which is Andalusia is down the south of the country. It's specifically from that region. Football favourites. Spain is home to 2 of the world's best supported teams. Barcelona, established in 1899, stadium capacity of 99,354. This might be a little bit out of date. And Real Madrid, established in 1902, stadium capacity 81,044. Every year in the town of Buñol in eastern Spain, thousands of people take part in La Tomatina, the biggest food fight on the planet. Crowds take to the streets to launch over 100 tons of tomatoes at each other. They wrap all the buildings in cellophane so it doesn't stain. There are loads of rules, like you can't throw it at people's faces and everyone has to wear goggles. Moorish marvels, situated overlooking the city of Granada. The Alhambra is a grand complex famed for its intricate Moorish designs of patterned tiling and fountain-filled gardens. Originally constructed as a fortress in 1889 by the Islamic Moors of North Africa, it was later converted into a palace. Today it is a fantastic mix of different styles. You would have seen it because they filmed some of Game of Thrones there, if I remember correctly. I think it was where Dawn was with Pedro Pascal's character. Okay, so that's Europe. Let's do Africa. I really can't remember where we have done and where we haven't. Definitely haven't done Tunisia. I have done Algeria, I believe. Okay, Tunisia. Northern Africa. There's Spain there. There's Morocco, Algeria, Libya, Egypt. There's Tunisia there. That is their flag. Key facts. Capital is Tunis. Official language is Arabic. Currency Tunisian dinar. Population 11.7 million. An area 155,000 kilometers squared. Tunisia is a relatively small country, surrounded by much larger neighbours. In ancient times, the city of Carthage, on its northern coast, controlled a mighty empire, and today Tunisia has one of the continent's highest standards of living, according to the United Nations. Most of the population is of Berber descent. Mighty empire. The city of Carthage was founded back in the 9th century by Phoenician settlers from Lebanon. By the 3rd century BCE, it established an empire stretching across the Mediterranean. That brought it into conflict with the region's other growing power, Rome. Over 3 brutal conflicts known as the Punic Wars, ending in 146 BCE, Rome defeated Carthage and took over its lands. Yes, that's the 9th century BCE. Following periods of Roman, Arab, Muslim, Ottoman and French rule, the country has been independent since 1957. The most famous event in the Punic War saw the Carthaginian general Hannibal march his troops and a group of war elephants through Spain and over the Alps to launch a surprise raid on Roman territory. Would it be a surprise if you saw an elephant walking through Switzerland, though? I suppose they didn't have social media to let them know. Roman Tunisia. Roman rule of Tunisia lasted for around 800 years. The old city of Carthage was destroyed and rebuilt in a Roman style, and numerous other Roman settlements were established. These included Thestrus, now known as El Jem, where one of the empire's largest amphitheatres was constructed. Built in around 238 CE, much of the structure survives today, making it one of the continent's best preserved Roman ruins. The Festival of the Sahara takes place at the end of December. Events include camel races, poetry readings, and musical performances. A galaxy not that far away. Lightsabers at the ready. Various scenes from the early Star Wars movies were filmed in Tunisia, and many of the locations can still be visited, preferably in full Star Wars costume. These include the home of Luke Skywalker's family in the first movie, in reality the Sidi Briz Hotel, a traditional subterranean Berber settlement, plus the set for the spaceport of Mos Espa, created for the Phantom Menace. Let's head to Asia. I've done Bangladesh. then Japan. I think I've done South Korea, I've done Uzbekistan. The Philippines. Okay, here is the map. The Philippine Islands are here, just above Malaysia and Indonesia, and just lower than China, across the water from Vietnam. Here is the flag. Capital Manila. Official language is Filipino and English. Currency the Philippine peso. Population 109.1 million. An area of land 298,000 square kilometers. With 41,500 people per square kilometer, Manila is the world's most densely populated city. Philippines. Life in the Philippines can be super relaxed on sun-kissed island beaches and in the warm, clear ocean, or super hectic in busy, neon-lit cities full of karaoke bars and barbecue joints. With over 7,000 islands, there's plenty to see and explore. The country's culture is a mixture of local influences and those of former colonial powers Spain and the USA. Big eyes. Found deep in the country's forests, the Philippine tarsier is one of the world's tiniest primates. It's just 15 centimeters tall, most of which seems to be taken up by its huge, googly eyes, which are as big as its brain. In fact, its eyes are so large the tarsier can't move them around in its eye sockets, but must turn its head instead. They help the animal to see at night, which is when it is mainly active, feeding on insects that it plucks from the trees with its long fingers. Mysterious mounds. The center of the Philippines' Bohol Island is covered in over 12,000 conically shaped mounds called the Chocolate Hills. Most of the time the mounds are green, but in the dry season the vegetation turns the cocoa brown colour that gives them their name. According to local legends, they were formed by giants throwing boulders at each other, while according to scientists they were, less excitingly, formed by a rare type of limestone erosion. The island of Camiguin has 7 volcanoes, which is more than the number of towns, although only one volcano is considered active. Basketball fever. Introduced to the country when it was ruled by the USA between 1898 and 1946, basketball is hugely popular in the Philippines, with courts dotted across the country. Founded in 1975, the PBA, Philippines Basketball Association, is the world's second oldest professional basketball league after the NBA in the USA/Canada. And then we have a boxer here. Manny Pacquiao, one of Philippines' biggest stars, has a rather unusual career. He combines being a world champion professional boxer with his day job as a senator in the Filipino government. And then on to Oceania. Now this one I really am not sure what we've done. Definitely done Australia, Papua New Guinea, Fiji. Have I done Fiji? I believe so. Solomon Islands, Vanuatu, Kiribati, Nauru. Not done Nauru. Let's do Nauru. Okay, so even I'm not sure where Nauru is. It's here by the looks of it, which is to the north of Papua New Guinea. Northeast. Here's the flag. And the capital is Yaren. Official languages are Nauruan and English. Currency is the Australian dollar. Population of just 11,000. An area of 21 square kilometers. Nauru, a tiny speck of land surrounded by endless ocean. Nauru is the world's smallest island country. Throughout its history, it's been controlled by various foreign powers, including Germany, Japan, Britain, Australia and New Zealand, but finally achieved independence in 1958. Guano Island. For centuries, the people here lived by fishing and farming. But in the early 20th century, the island began to be extensively mined for phosphate, an important ingredient in fertilizer found in the guano or bird poo blanketing the island's rocks. For a brief period, profits from mining made Nauru's population among the richest in the world. However, guano supplies are now almost completely exhausted, leaving behind severe economic and environmental problems. The people of Nauru weave complex string figures with their hands, known as ekawada. Okay, we're going to do a bonus one. I'm going to do an African country. Let's do Burkina Faso. Okay, Burkina Faso is located here. Here's Nigeria for context, and this is Cameroon. This is Mali. Here's the flag. So capital is Ouagadougou. Official language is French. Currency is the West African CFA franc. Population is 20.8 million, and the area is 273,000 square kilometers. The national animal of Burkina Faso is the white stallion. That's on their football emblem, I think their football association emblem. Burkina Faso is a sun-baked land of scorched pavements and painted mud brick houses. The capital and largest city, Ouagadougou, is located in the centre, with dry areas to the north near the Sahara and lush areas of grasslands and forests to the south. 80% of the population works in agriculture. At the movies. Held in the capital, the biennial, held every 2 years, Pan-African Film and Television Festival is one of the hottest tickets around. Over 5 days, more than 150 movies by African filmmakers are shown. The festival culminates with the awarding of the top prize, the Étalon du Yenega, the Stallion of Yenega. It's named after the legendary princess and supposed mother of the Mossi people, the country's largest ethnic group. Painted houses. The houses of the small village of Tiebele in southeastern Burkina Faso are made traditionally using earth, wood and straw. Hordes of tourists are attracted each year by their houses' incredible decorations. Each is adorned with a unique collection of intricate geometric patterns created using mud and chalk. Sharp sandstone peaks. Burkina Faso is an overwhelmingly flat place, but that doesn't mean it's completely featureless. The Sindhu peaks are a collection of gnarled sandstone formations in the far west of the country that jut jaggedly out of the surrounding landscape. They were originally formed on the ocean floor, but have gradually been pushed above sea level over millions of years. A mouthful of Mouré. Although French is the official language, around half the people speak the indigenous language Mouré, also known as Mossi. Here are a couple of useful Mouré phrases. Yam kibare, how are you? La thibala, la yamba, I'm fine, and you? There are many ethnic groups in Burkina Faso, including the Mossi, who make up just under half the population, the Lobi, the Mande, and the Gurunsi. Fascinating. Yam kibare, la thibala, la yamba. Sounds beautiful. Okay, thank you so much for watching, everyone. I hope this video isn't cursed. Uncurse it for me by clicking like and obviously subscribing to the channel if you're new here. I'll leave the previous video in the series, and I'm going to go away and mark the pages that I've used because I'm getting quite forgetful. Leave a comment, let me know which countries you want me to do next time, and those suggestions I will take on board when I get this book out in a couple of weeks' time. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Don't forget to join my Patreon if you really love what I do on this channel and you're a big fan, because you get extra exclusive videos every month.